Space, the final frontier. This is the 2.5-year journey of the build of the Starship Enterprise. Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and welcome to stage 63 of building the Enterprise D from Star Trek The Next Generation. In this episode, a very short one, not as short as the next one. I think the next one is where I'm going to have a look through the magazine as ever. This one, we've got one more lower saucer section panel to make with little bits and light reflectors and an escape pod. We've got the windows for it as well. I'll put those over there. We have two pieces and three screws we will be using to add on to this part. But in this issue, we also received the display stand. This is it. Well, this is most of it. Basically, it appears that this is obviously aluminium. It's very light. It's not heavyweight. This is the upper part of the main body, and it looks like that's going to go in there pretty much like that. I don't know if there's another part. There's obviously a lower section which is going to add something to it, so it's obviously not going to go all the way up into there, but it's going to be something like that. So obviously then we've got the neck that's going to go on here and the saucer on there and the back here and then the cells on there. I don't know how the gravity is going to work, or we don't know how anything's going to work yet. This is basically a short tripod stand. The legs fold out. Obviously, you then lock it in place. It does have with it this, which is apparently, by the looks of it, a three-sided sort of display unit that will go around the legs, just to hide the legs. Basically, it's not great, but it will do the job. Considering the model and the shape and the size of it, you can't just have it on a table because it hasn't got any legs. It hasn't got any landing gear or anything. So they needed to do something. So that's the free, if you like, solution. I believe in other areas there are premium offerings which are mirrored and much nicer. I don't know if they're going to be offered to the UK. If they are offered to the UK, I don't know if I'm going to take one. The display stand is a very minor thing for me. So yeah, it will do the job, and that's really all I need it to do. So we'll find out what's going to happen with that down the road. It may be that nothing will happen with that. The first thing we're going to do with this is fit these two posts, very similar to the ones we put on the top there. These do have a way round. There's one side has a little notch, the other side, oh, does have a notch. I thought the others was different. No, it doesn't matter which way round because they're both the same either way up. You've got an area there with a notch to put it into, and that is going in there just like that with a BM screw holding it in place. Looking around the rest of it, looks like there's two other, there's one there and one there on each side that are probably going to have different lengths of these fitted to them. But yeah, that's further down the road. What I'm going to do now is get two of these BM screws out, store the rest, and we'll put these in place. So the screws are obviously going from the other side. You just got to get the notch lined up. You'll feel it locate in place, obviously. And then that will screw into there. Although obviously there's two of them, they are separate, so you can do them one at a time. There's no need to fit one loosely and then go back to it. But you do want to make sure that it is lined up in place and secure. You don't need any wobble or wiggle in these at all. Let's get the other one in the screw hole. Come on, you know you want to. There you go. So that's that in the screw hole, and then you can rotate it until you get it locked in place, and then tighten it down. Now this part then gets put aside for a couple of issues. I don't think we'll use this again for a little while, so I shall move that out the way. These are obviously the next part, so turning that over, we've got 5 windows to put in and an escape pod. Obviously the escape pod goes in there. The red line is closest to the wide end of the panel, as pretty much is always the case, so that goes in there that way up. like that. We've got, what have we got? We've got a transparent one on that side. There we go. These windows are slightly longer than the other windows that we've had. I'm going to swap those two around just to make it my own. Two dark windows down there. One down there somewhere. Down there. One at the top. Use a pair of tweezers because otherwise I could be here all night. There are actually directions to these. One side has a slightly thicker gap than the other. So I've got that one the wrong way up. Fits in much nicer the other way up. Like that and like that. And that one at the top. Go the same way around as well. The clear ones, I think I got the right way around, more by luck than judgment, but there we go, that's that. So these are then held in place. We've got three things to do. We've got this that goes over the two windows, that way up, just like so, with an 8mm screw, obviously holding that in place. I'll be using 4 8mm screws, so let's get all of those out now. One of those goes straight down there. I'm not entirely certain about how the lighting of these particular bits is going to work because that's pretty much all mirrored. Obviously will come in through the side probably, or is it just reflecting? I don't know. That one's got a gap on the top here that will let the light come through, but I don't know. Just putting these in to hold in place. I will come back and tighten them down when I know nothing else is going to get loose. And for some reason, we've got a big double one that we go on there. Get it the right way round. That way up. There we go. I don't know why the escape pod needs to be held in place quite so securely, but it is, and indeed does. So I shall follow the instructions and continue on with the build like nothing has ever happened. So there we go, that's that. Let's get all of these tightened down. Then that will indeed be the end of this episode, the end of this issue. Not a great deal to do, but still some. It feels like a long time since I've done anything on the Enterprise at all, because of Christmas and delivery times and things like that. So that doesn't feel like that's actually in there properly. I'll take that back off. If it's not gonna, that's not gonna just edge down there. It looks like you've got to get the bottom edge of that in under that lip first. Make sure you get that the right way round. If you're doing this, make sure that end goes under before you tighten it down. Lip for this one to worry about, but you have got the little notch to make sure it lines up. Get it the right way around. So that is that. Little windows on there, and obviously the escape pod. That will go aside for later. The other part will obviously go aside for even later than that. So that is the end of stage 63. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you for stage 64 very shortly, although there will be other part works in between. So I'll see you along the line. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.